Hey everyone, it's Kim Adams here for our Money and Mindset Monday Talk. And you may have noticed that I changed the name slightly because in reality, we talk a lot about mindset, and I love talking mindset and inner game stuff. And really, it's the majority of the work that I do with my clients and that we focus on in my groups and in my masterminds. So I thought changing the name was a little more congruent with me and what I'm doing and what I'm most passionate about. So you will see Money and Mindset Mondays from now on. Anyway, today I want to talk about owning your power. And you probably have heard me talk about this too. For some reason, I'm really drawn to this topic. Probably because I need to own my own freaking power, right? You teach what you need to learn anyway. So your power is something that really will inhibit you, block your growth, and it's a subtle thing. You know, there's that famous quote by Marianne Williamson. Most of you probably have heard what I'm talking about, but if you hadn't, all you have to do is Google Your Greatest Fear, Our Greatest Fear by Marianne Williamson, and you'll come up with it. So the beginning of it goes something like this. Our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that scares us most. And I've always loved that quote. In fact, years ago, I had that plastered on my refrigerator door. And my son one time, I think he was around 14, he's like, "Hey mom, you know that quote you have on the refrigerator? I really like that." And I think everyone resonates with that quote because I think deep inside, we know that we have so much more power than what we're revealing or what we're using in our life. And so what affects your power? What affects your ability to grow your business, to, stay in relationships that aren't working? What is it that inhibits your power or affects your power? So there are a couple things that affect your power and that create your power or lack of. One of them is your programming. So depending on how you were raised, we go back to that early childhood programming. It's pretty powerful. To use the term again, it's powerful and it's imprinted at a very young age in you. And so depending on how you were raised, were you encouraged to do whatever you wanted to do? Or did you have limits? Were you encouraged to get a safe career? Were you encouraged to get a certain type of career based on your sex? If you were a girl, were you encouraged to get your MRS degree? God forbid. But anyway, so your conditioning is really, really important. Another thing that impacts your power is your own personality. So we all have, different gifts. And we also have different defenses. And so understanding, what your most powerful gifts are, where are you when it comes to your innate talents and contribution that you want to make? Are you a born leader, a charismatic leader, or are you someone that's more supportive in nature? Are you meant to support others in their dreams? And these are just different styles. It doesn't mean you can't have as successful a business as someone else. But we all integrate and incorporate things differently. So if one parent says something to one child, they incorporate it, and internalize it differently. So who you are affects your power too. How you've picked up those messages from early in life, how you interpret and take things that are said to you from people in your warm circle or even people you don't know. So that's another big thing. When I work with my clients, I have several tools I use to help kind of pinpoint, what type of profile are you? What is your life purpose profile? What are you meant to be doing? When you're aware of that, it's so much easier because you don't question then, and you kind of can sit firmly and confidently in who you are and build your life and your business, your career from there. So it's really important. Something that I think many of us deal with, especially as women, and is the collective consciousness of how we have been culturized, if that's a word, how our environment has affected us, how we've been conditioned, that's a better word, conditioned to behave and act. So as women, we carry the collective consciousness of the suppression of women that have gone before us. So we play a pivotal role right now in helping women to really own their power on a collective basis. So that's something we just have to acknowledge and really work on achieving. And the more we support each other, the more we help raise the consciousness, the collective consciousness of the power of all women. So it's really important to help other women to reach their dreams and goals. That will help raise the vibration level of all of us. The fourth thing that affects your power are your unconscious projections in your reality. And this is fascinating because, if it's unconscious, well, we don't know about it because it's unconscious, right? So the key is to kind of highlight and get to what is unconscious that's projecting in your physical reality. Because if there's something in your life that you don't like, it's a projection of you. It's all about you, right? It goes back to taking 100% responsibility because it is all you. Everything in your life is a reflection of you, consciously or unconsciously. And so digging deep and using some tools to really highlight what is the unconscious piece of you that you haven't maybe integrated or internalized. That's really important too. So how are some ways that you can own your power? I thought I'd give you some tools to own your power. One is processing your emotions. So let's say you have a big dream and you're frustrated about being stuck at a certain place. You just feel stagnant and it's irritating you to no end, right? You're stuck. You don't want to be where you are. You want to do something else, or you want to be more successful. So I want you to process your emotions. And one of the ways I use with my clients is just called the peace process. Simple technique I learned from my mentor, Christian Michelson. Just think about that big dream you have, or the goals that you have in your business that you're not achieving, or that you're just somehow not getting to what you need to do. Resistance patterns have set in. You're just not achieving. You're not taking the action you should be. I want you to find that in your body. So just close your eyes. Normally, if you think about the thought initially, you will find it in your body somewhere, right? Common places are your gut, your heart. People have found it many places: throat, head, back, all kinds of places. It can really be anywhere. But specifically with owning your power, it generally will be in your gut area, your solar plexus area, your third chakra area, which is where your center of self is, where your self-esteem, your center of power is in your solar plexus. So just once you find it in your body, though, you release the thought. So don't think about it anymore. Don't think about the thought that got you to find it in your body. You just stay with the feeling in your body. And if just your presence on that will really help dissipate it. And this is really a simple technique for processing emotions without having to express the emotion. So let's say you're angry at somebody too. Peace process that anger. It's a way of really processing the emotion in your body because your emotions are embedded in your body. It's also an amazing way to process emotions that, all emotions can impact your body and physical self in a big way. We all know that, right? The mind-body connection. So, and your emotions really, we create most of our emotions by what we think. So it's all connected. No fences, it's all connected. Okay, so that's the peace process. One way to own your power is to really process your emotions around whatever you want more power in. All right, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your business, your career, your health. All right, peace process the emotions. One of the other ways to increase your power is to increase your light. And what I mean by that is we all come from light. Believe it or not. That's why Marianne Williams says it's our light, not our darkness, that scares us most. So the more we can increase our light, and that includes just being out in sunlight, okay? That's a way to increase your light. The best way that I know to increase your light is to meditate too, and to really meditate on increasing your light. There are different techniques I use. I have a meditation course I'm going to start teaching soon called Awakening the Light Body. So your light body is actually a body of light that surrounds you. So increasing your light is really helpful because you get back to who you really are. So our goal is to get back to the essence of who we are, which is a very powerful being. Because we're beings of light. And so we can create with light and energy. So that's a second way to really kind of own your power. Another way is to process your polarity. So I mentioned earlier about incorporating your unconscious pieces, understanding that we live in a society of duality, a society of duality. So on earth, we live in duality. There's right, there's wrong, there's good, there's evil. In reality, there's none of that. But we contain everything in us. We contain the light and we contain the dark. But many of us want to shove the dark, under the rug. I know I do. And so one of the techniques to use, I use a couple techniques to help people kind of uncover those unconscious pieces, the polarities, the darkness that's hiding there. Because if it's not integrated and acknowledged, and it can be as simple as just being aware of it, there's no special ritual you have to go through, but really just placing your awareness on the dark side, the shadow side of you, realizing it's there, can be very powerful in releasing it. So you can have amazing shifts with that, and I have had amazing shifts with that in my own life. It's just highlighting the unconscious piece, because again, it's unconscious. We don't know about it, right? So the goal is to make it conscious, to bring it to the consciousness, to bring it conscious. Let's see. And I also, when I talk about power, I want you to realize that we're not talking the type of power that's force. We're not talking power that's controlling. So true power is inspiring. True power is compassionate and inclusive. That's the kind of power we're talking about. And it's interesting, there's a woman in Pittsburgh who owns a magazine, World Magazine, Christine Thompson, who is starting a group here in Pittsburgh, Powerful Women of the World, all about empowering women. And we were talking about what power means. And it's not necessarily picketing. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. But power is a different power, true power, which I think is what we as women really resonate with, is not the control and it's not the manipulation of power as we've seen that's been played out in the patriarchal society that's been in existence for 5,000 years. And when I talk about that, we were all a part of that too. So we as women created that whole patriarchal structure, for a reason too. We contributed to it. So I don't mean to bash the men and say they're bad. We were in this patriarchy because we helped create it for them to experience it. But now we're moving out of that and we're coming into a more balanced energy of having people balance their masculine and feminine. I mean, you hear it all over the place. The rise of the feminine divine. That's because it's true. We are in that era, all right? So I hope this has been helpful. If this resonates with you, please comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have other tools that you've used to help you increase your power, please let me know too. And yeah, it's great talking to you. I would love to connect with you and chat more about this. So please, if anyone's interested in chatting, just ping me. And we can have a chat about it because I'm really super passionate about getting the information out to as many people as I can. And I love this. So anyway, this is Kimberly Adams coming to you with Money and Mindset Mondays talk. All right. Hope you guys have an awesome week. Weather's beautiful here and I'll talk to you real soon. Okay. Take care. Bye.